The dining room at my parents' house looked perfect. White lights, gold ornaments, crystal glasses reflecting candlelight. Everything perfect except me apparently. I'd arrived at 6, helped set the table, brought the $200 wine my mother requested. My father, Richard Lawson, senior partner at Lawson Associates, sat at the head in his custom suit. My mother, Patricia, wore expensive pearls. My brother Marcus and his wife Emily looked like they'd stepped out of a country club catalog. And then there was me, Sophia, 29. Simple black dress from a brand they'd never recognize. So, Sophia, my father began, cutting his prime rib. Marcus tells me you're still doing that consulting thing? Commercial real estate consulting, I said calmly. Yes. Marcus snorted. Consulting. That's what people call it when they can't hold a real job. Emily giggled softly. My mother just sipped her wine. I have a real job, I replied. I help property owners maximize portfolio value. You mean you help landlords squeeze more money out of tenants, my father said. Not exactly prestigious work. It pays well, I said. Does it? Marcus leaned back. Because you're still renting that little apartment downtown. No husband, no kids, no real assets. Emily and I already owned our house at your age. With Dad's down payment, I said quietly. That's how family works, my mother interjected. We help people who make good choices, who pursue respectable careers. I pursued the career I wanted, I said. And look where it got you, my father said. Marcus is a senior associate at a top law firm. You're giving advice to landlords. There's a difference. This was familiar territory. Every holiday the same script. Marcus was the golden child, Harvard Law, following in Dad's footsteps, doing everything right. I was the disappointment who'd turned down law school to get my MBA and work in real estate. You know the problem, my father continued. You don't have ambition. You never did. Marcus works 70-hour weeks building his career. You're floating through life, doing the bare minimum. Dad, I work hard. Don't interrupt me. His voice was sharp. I'm not finished. Your mother and I have been discussing this. You're embarrassing this family. You show up to Christmas dinner without a significant other, without any real accomplishments to share, still renting at nearly 30 years old. It reflects poorly on us. Our friends ask about you, and what are we supposed to say? You could say I'm successful, I offered. Marcus laughed out loud. Successful? Sophia, come on. You're a consultant. You don't even have a Wikipedia page. Neither do you, I pointed out. Marcus is being groomed for partner, Emily said defensively. Everyone knows his name at the firm. Exactly, my father said. Marcus is building something real. You're just existing. And frankly, we're tired of making excuses for you at our social events. So what are you saying? I asked, keeping my voice level. My father looked at my mother, then back at me. We're saying it's time for you to figure things out on your own. No more family dinners until you have something real to show us. No more pretending everything is fine when it clearly isn't. Pack your bags, he said louder. You're embarrassing this family, and we're done enabling your mediocrity. This is the last Christmas dinner you're invited to until you get your life together. Marcus raised his wine glass in mock toast. Harsh, Dad, but fair. I sat there for a moment looking at each of them. My father, self-righteous and certain. My mother, silent and complicit. My brother, smirking like he'd won something. Emily, trying to look sympathetic but mostly relieved the target wasn't her. I could have argued. I could have defended myself, listed my accomplishments, explained exactly how successful I actually was. But I'd learned something over the past 5 years building my empire. Sometimes the best response is no response at all. Okay, I said simply. I stood up, picked up my coat from the chair and walked toward the door. That's it. Marcus called after me. No drama. No tears. I turned back. You asked me to leave. I'm leaving. Merry Christmas. My mother finally spoke. Sophia, maybe if you just... Merry Christmas, Mom, I repeated and walked out. I got into my Lexus, kept modest because my family equated flashy cars with overcompensation, and drove to my real home. Not the little apartment downtown they thought I lived in, but my actual residence. A 4,000 square foot penthouse in Morrison Tower with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. The apartment they knew was a one-bedroom I kept as my official address on documents. I'd learned early on that my family used information as weapons, and I'd stopped giving them ammunition years ago. I poured myself a glass of wine, from my own collection this time, an $800 bottle I'd been saving, and opened my laptop. It was Christmas night, but I wasn't in the mood to celebrate. Instead, I pulled up my property management files. I owned 47 commercial properties across the city. Office buildings, retail spaces, mixed-use developments. Total value $340 million. I'd built it starting with one building I'd bought at auction 6 years ago. While they thought I was struggling, I was acquiring distressed properties, improving them, building relationships with investors and contractors. I knew the market better than anyone. And one of my properties, a prime downtown office building called Sterling Center, housed exactly 12 businesses, including Lawson Associates, my father's law firm. I opened the lease file. 10-year lease signed 5 years ago. Under Sterling Property Management LLC, my holding company. My father had no idea his daughter owned his building. I pulled up the email from 3 weeks ago. Lawson Associates, multiple complaints. 4 tenant complaints in 6 months. Excessive noise from arguments in their office. Associates smoking in the stairwell despite no smoking policy. Their cleaning crew blocking common areas. All documented. All lease violations. I emailed my property manager, David Chin. Prepare lease termination notice for Lawson Associates citing violations. 90 days, effective Monday, December 26th. Certified mail to Richard Lawson. I hit send. Then I called my friend Jordan, the only person who knew my full portfolio. Family dinner was interesting, I said, and told her everything. And you just left? I terminated their lease. It arrives Monday morning. Silence. Then, you're terminating your father's lease? I'm enforcing a violated commercial agreement. It's business. This will blow up. Good. I'm done being the family disappointment. Monday morning my phone exploded. Calls from my father, texts from Marcus, calls from my mother. I ignored them all and finished my breakfast meeting. The investor committed $15 million to a new property. At 11 a.m. I checked voicemail. Sophia, call me immediately. This is urgent. Controlled. I'm serious. This is about business. Tighter. I received a lease termination notice. They're kicking us out. Use your real estate connections to fix this. Less controlled. I smiled and texted him. Congratulations on the termination notice. These things happen in commercial real estate. Best of luck finding new space. Merry Christmas. He called immediately. I answered. Sophia, what the hell is going on? Good morning, Dad. How was Christmas? Don't play games. Did you know about this termination? I might have heard something. From who? Do you know the owner? Sterling Property Management is my company. Sterling Center is my building. I'm your landlord, Dad. Have been for 5 years. Silence. That's impossible. Why? Because you think I'm not successful enough? The lease termination is legitimate. Your firm violated multiple terms. All documented. You're doing this because of dinner. No, I'm doing this because your firm violated its lease. But the timing is interesting. You can't just kick us out. It's my building. You have 90 days. The commercial market is tight. Better start looking. This will ruin us. Moving costs, lost business. Someone with real ambition like Marcus can figure it out. Good test of his leadership. This is because I criticized you. This is because you spent 29 years treating me like a failure while I built something you couldn't recognize. Tell your friends I own 47 properties worth $340 million. Tell them your daughter is successful, and you were too arrogant to notice. Sophia, please. Can we talk? We just did. Merry Christmas, Dad. I hung up. My phone exploded. Calls, texts, voicemails. My mother crying. Marcus angry. My father alternating between apologetic and demanding. I responded to none of them. 3 days later, Aunt Caroline called. My mother's sister, one of the few family members I liked. Your mother told me what happened. Okay. I'm proud of you. I've watched them treat you like nothing for years. It's about time someone showed them who you really are. They might lose clients. Then they should have read their lease. And they shouldn't have told you to pack your bags at Christmas. You don't tell a commercial real estate investor to leave and expect no consequences. I laughed. For what it's worth, I always knew you were successful. Quiet confidence. Your brother has loud confidence. There's a difference. Thank you. The 90 days passed. Lawson Associates found smaller, less prestigious space in an older building. The move cost them $400,000. They lost 2 major clients. Marcus called once. This hurt Dad's business. Good. Maybe next time he won't tell his daughter she's embarrassing. We're family. Yes, I can. I did. I'd do it again. 6 months later, I was at a charity gala. Major donor, $50,000 contribution to scholarship funds. My name on the program. I saw my parents across the room. They saw me. My father went pale. My mother looked like she wanted to approach but didn't. I stayed on my side, made connections, left early. My father caught me in the parking garage. Sophia, wait. I was wrong. About everything. You've built something extraordinary. Yes, you were. Can we start over? I looked at him. Older. Tired. Arrogance gone. Maybe. But not yet. He spent 29 years making me feel small. I'm not forgiving that quickly just because you finally figured out who I am. That's fair. Next time you think about criticizing someone's accomplishments, remember you have no idea what they've built. You saw a mediocre consultant because that fit your narrative. You missed the investor worth 9 figures because you never thought to look. He nodded. I understand. Good. Merry Christmas, Dad. I drove home to my penthouse where I belonged. Where I'd always belonged. The woman who owned the building. The woman who built an empire while they dismissed her. The woman who proved success doesn't need validation from people too blind to recognize it. That was who I was. That was who I'd always been. And now they knew it too.